Okay, so here's a video that will give you some extra pointers on how to use GeoGebra. So I went to the assignment and I clicked on the link to GeoGebra. When I came in here, recover unsaved changes, no, I don't care about that. So let's first look at how to graph a point. So to graph a point, so for example, let's say we've sold 5 cups of coffee for $10. So our x-coordinate is the amount of coffee, 5, 10. And let me make that a little bigger if I can. 5, 10. Okay, so I put that in. Now notice how we can't see it. Okay, so I go over and I scroll back and I can find it that way. Let's say that you like this big format though. There's 5, right? So you've scrolled in, but you can pull it down and there we go, 5, 10 fits in. There's our point. So let's make another point. And what would be on that same line? Okay, so this is where you have to start thinking algebraically. You say, oh, okay, well the relationship is that the second coordinate, the y-coordinate, is twice as big. So how about instead of 5, 10, how about 3, 6? 6 is twice as much as 3. Okay, so I hit enter and I've got that. Okay. Now what if I wanted to draw a line through those 2 points? Okay. And so we go to our tools and we scroll down. So I clicked on tools and then I went down here to line. Okay. So I click on line and I click on the 2 points, and now you see I made a line that went all the way through there. All right. Okay, so now if we go back and we click on algebra, you'll see that I've got that line there. And in fact, it tells us the equation of the line. Isn't that nice? So it says, to be on this line, you have to take the x-coordinate and multiply by 2. And if we look at it, we say, well, here's a point 2, 4, and I can click on this point here. 2, 4. And let's see what I can do here. Alright, so 2, 4. Alright. Well, let's get rid of that. And I'm going to delete it. Okay. And we're going to go back again. So I'll go to Tools. And I'll click on Segment. So notice the difference between that. So I click on Segment. And it just goes from one to the other, right? So I just, oops. Okay, so you got something extra there. I did something extra I don't want, so I say, okay, I'm going to delete. I'm going to delete C and D. Yeah, delete those points. Okay. So now I go back up here, and I'm going to pull this down. And let's look at some other things we can do, right? So what if I say, instead of that, I say array. Okay, so remember, array is it goes forever in one direction, right? So it goes off in that other direction. Okay, so, and then you see, well, how do I do the undo? So I didn't want that. Let's see if there's an undo in this. Oh, right here. There's the undo. Okay, that undo thing. Okay, so what's another thing I can do? So I can say, well, I know this, there's this equation I can do, which is y equals 2x. Not x2, 2x, 2x. Okay. And then I set that line there. All right. Now, what if I said, well, I've got this situation where my cafe is so good, I charge them $2 just to sit in my cafe and $2 for a cup of coffee. So that would be a situation where I say, okay, y equals 2x, so I take how many cups of coffee they've drunk. But I also add $2 because that's what they charge just for the privilege of sitting in my cafe. And you see how you get a parallel line to that. Now, let's look at a last case where business is bad. And I'm going to give you $1 just for coming in. Okay, so how much money do I make then? Well, y, the amount of money I make, equals $2 times the amount of cups of coffee. So X is the cups of coffee. But -1, why -1? Because they're going to have to, I'm going to give them $1 as they come in, or maybe $1 credit on their bill. So I make $1 less than I do. So that's the way, instead of handing them $1, you just say, well, if you do buy something at the end of your time in the cafe, I'll give you $1 off. So you get $1 for coming in. But probably people would respond better if you handed them $1 as they entered. But if you notice, you see how these lines are all parallel. And that's one of the big lessons you have to learn, is that if the rate of increase is equal, if the steepness of the line is equal, then those lines will be parallel. They'll never meet. And as we move on, that'll be very important. Do the lines meet or don't they?